About XRP Ripple, this video is the most crucial one. The Ripple against SEC court ruling has been postponed once more, but don't start to worry. Still a lot to investigate. Experts are sure that this delay won't stop XRP's price from skyrocketing to hitherto unheard-of levels. Forecasts suggest that the XRP Ripple coin might be valued as $37,500. Sounds unearthly. Indeed? Still, how could such be even feasible? This DVD has all the solutions. Let us dissect it methodically, stepwise. Notes: disclaiming the legal drama between Ripple Labs and the SEC has veered yet another unexpected direction, one that might indicate the start of the end for a case defining the current discussion on crypto control. Ripple and the SEC have formally asked a stop in the appeal process by submitting a joint status report with the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, a move that attracted the interest of the whole digital asset scene. This is not a delay only. This is a tactical change based on great weight on an upcoming ruling by Judge Analisa Torres. The parties specifically want what is known as an indicative ruling, a procedural tool whereby the district court may indicate how it would decide on a request should the appeal court send the case back down. In this regard, Ripple has submitted a motion probably related to the remedies phase, which controls penalties and injunctions for institutional XRP sales. That might radically change the course of the lawsuit. The combined ask has spurred strong crypto community conjecture. Some interpret it as evidence of behind-the-scenes conversations and rising settlement possibilities. The XRP architect pointed out on X, SEC, and Ripple just submitted a combined status report asking for an appeal stop. They are waiting for a district court decision on a key motion. This could indicate a resolution of their protracted XRP legal dispute. A victory for clarity in cryptocurrencies? John Squire asked, "Are we about to see a major plot twist?" Reflecting the same feeling. It does feel just like that. The SEC's agreement to stop its own appeal, something it hardly does, shows that it understands Judge Torres's suggestive decision could significantly impact its case. Though it does imply that both sides are seeking court clarity before devoting additional time and money to appeals, this pause isn't surrender. The case has already had a seismic effect on U.S. court and policy treatment of digital assets. The July 2023 decision by Judge Torres produced a historic split. While institutional sales were XRP's programmatic sales on exchanges were not securities transactions. That divided ruling has provided a legal model for later decisions, so allowing the crypto sector a partial but significant victory. Remember, XRP is not a security. Tweeted XRP Avengers. The community has stayed close to that stance, reading the judge's ruling as confirmation of XRP's acting as digital cash instead of unregistered security. The battle isn't finished yet, though. The remedies phase looms big since it will decide if Ripple suffers operational limitations or financial fines connected to its prior sales methods. Should Judge Torres render a favorable suggestive order, implying she may restrict or discount some of the SEC's proposed fines, the agency may be forced back into negotiations. On the other hand, should the decision go in favor of the SEC, the litigation may go back up full steam ahead with the appeal reopened and a protracted court fight extending into 2026 resumed. Not only the technical detail, but also the wider consequences for the crypto market define this moment as absolutely vital. Widely seen as a litmus test for how far authorities can stretch current securities rules to embrace digital assets is the SEC against Ripple litigation. A positive result for Ripple could enable other cryptocurrency initiatives to oppose government policies and pursue legislative change. Conversely, a loss may empower the SEC to pursue comparable cases with fresh zeal, therefore stifling U.S. market innovation. Right now, everyone is staring right on the court. August 15th is the next important day, marking the deadline for the next joint status report. Much depends on what Judge Torres signals between now and then. The stakes couldn't be greater, not only for Ripple, but also for the whole future of Bitcoin control in the United States, whether this results in a final settlement or a heightened court fight. Here's where things become truly interesting, though. XRP believers are not backing down even while the courtroom drama is underway behind the scenes. Actually, seasoned analysts and specialists are more optimistic than they have been previously. They consider this legal stop as the quiet before the storm, not as a setback. And should their forecasts come true, XRP's next action might cause shock to the whole market. Don't make the same mistake twice if you missed out on Bitcoin. XRP is the last chance, tweeted Ido Farina, catching the urgency and conviction of a rising number of investors who think XRP is about to undergo a huge financial awakening. Furthermore, they could be correct. XRP could be preparing for the largest movement in its history, if the analysts and influencers invading the market with audacious forecasts get it even half right. Well-known chart watcher Steph noted the tightening of XRP's Bollinger Bands, an old-school technical indicator usually indicating an impending explosion in price volatility. Huge move loaded, he said, teased. Others shared the same impression. Another esteemed member of the XRP ecosystem, Eminix, said straightforwardly, "Only the patient will triumph. The impatient are about to take the toughest test of their life." However, maybe the most divisive trigger came from a tweet by 20 to 25 hours awake, stating that a Fox News reporter verified a buyout of XRP at $37,500 per token, starting in under 48 hours. Although many are calling it wild conjecture and official confirmation is lacking, it fuels an already burning expectation. Jake Claver, managing director of Digital Ascension Group, who created waves by speculating that XRP may and should hit $10,000 per coin, not as a pump, but rather as a practical need, fuels the topic further. His reasoning is more based on utility than on fantasy. He offered the analogy of Ripple CTO David Schwartz. Should XRP continue to be valued at $1 million, then a full million tokens would be needed for transfer. But you need considerably less tokens to move the same amount of money when XRP's price rises. Just 100,000 are required at $10 per coin, and just 1,000 tokens for $1,000. Claver said that, particularly if XRP is to form the backbone of cross-border payments and worldwide settlements, to effectively handle high-volume institutional-level transactions. The token has to be somewhat expensive. XRP at $2 falls short, he said. Simply said, the liquidity is insufficient to enable trillion-dollar flows. According to his calculations, $10,000 per XRP would be sufficient to provide notional liquidity of more than $525 billion, enough to lubricate world finance. And that is where it spirals. While Claver argues XRP is designed to reach these high values, many are writing off the concept as ridiculous. More than all the money and assets in the world combined, a 10,000 XRP would indicate a market worth excess of $500 trillion. Critics, such as former CEO of an Australian equities company, Alex Carrico, have completely discounted the story. Carrico cautioned against what he saw as empty hype, noting it is sad to see individuals feed the dream of 10,000 XRP arriving tomorrow. Claver and other XRP maximalists yet oppose the conventional method of computing market capital value. They contend that XRP's use in utility-based transactions, not only speculation, justifies a quite different value model. They claim it's not